Train the muscles, not the joints.
Welcome back to Natural Gland Bodybuilding. Mountain. And somebody asked me about isolation movements and could they exclusively do isolation movements or should they include compounds in their workout programs? And my answer is that a combination of both is usually the best, right? So the point is about natural bodybuilding, right? As natural bodybuilders, we have to stress not only the muscles, but the overall system. That has been my experience. And I'll share a story from what I noticed over the years. What I noticed is that if I have a heavy day of bent over rows or squats, I noticed that there is this anabolic feeling that I get in the overall body because of all the muscles being hit. And I noticed that when I train other body parts after that in successive days, I have a better pump, a better experience from it. Now, people could say that's anecdotal or whatever, but I will say I noticed that there is a certain anabolic boost from hitting the overall system, like putting big weight on the spine, the hips, the knees, and the back, right? And yes, I know the back and the spine are somewhat linked, but I'm talking about the back muscles as well as the spine. So I'm not totally stupid, just part stupid. So the question is, could you get a great physique just from compound lifts and avoiding isolations altogether? And I would say that would depend on your genetics, but most likely you will put on a pretty decent amount of muscle mass overall. But if you wish to refine that look, that bodybuilding look, then you will find that there are certain muscle groups that may not be getting stressed enough to pop, or to really get that shapely or sizable look. So say you're bench pressing, you might be one of those people that gets great chest activation in the chest, but because of that, maybe your shoulders and triceps lag behind, right? The same thing could be said for your back training. Maybe even if you're doing back training like bent over rows and you're doing them somewhat improperly for isolation of the back, you might be getting a lot of rear delt and bicep work from your back work. But if you're not isolating the back properly, then your back might lag behind in development. So because of this, isolations come into play. But isolation movements are meant to refine the physique based on the foundation that you've already built with the compound lifts. So I always encourage you to do the compound lifts first and foremost, because as a natural bodybuilder, you don't just need to stimulate the muscle, but you also need to stimulate the overall system. And the best way to do that is with firing multiple muscles at once to stress the entire system. So how much you have to concentrate on compounds or isolations is up to you. And it can be different probably for each person. I'm open to that debate, of course. But what I will say is that if you're just doing isolation movements all the time, you may notice that you're missing something. Say if you're just doing leg extensions for legs and you're just doing tricep press downs for triceps and some bicep curls and just flies for chest, you may notice that there's something missing with how your body is adapting. Like there might be this overall systemic stress that's missing, which causes a burst of the endocrine system, which really helps natural bodybuilders put on muscle. So yeah, combine both in your workouts. And that's my best suggestion. And if you want to be dominant in your compound movements, that's great. And then you'll start to notice some weak links showing up. And then you could start to address those weak links with specific isolation movements. And that can help you create the perfect bodybuilding program over the long run. So yeah, that's what I got to say about that. Thanks a lot for watching. If you need to get a hold of me, just go to naturalglandbodybuilding.com, and thanks to the page supporters, and take care for now. Mountain.